welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the
Thank you.
Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. And look, fa la 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 la, the season is here, the holiday. I know a lot of people are into the Christmas holiday, and and I am respectful for those who don't celebrate as well. But I thought it was all good and fine, and I'm happy to bring Mrs. Claus here, better as known as Miss Jeanette Corporal Cox, who is here, who is an author who has many children's books. But I thought it would be nice since we are in this holiday spirit of Christmas. And I want to say welcome, 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 Miss Jeanette, Mrs. Claus. How are you this evening?
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I am getting over whatever this is, but I'm trying to get through this. I don't know what this is going on. I don't know. It's been going on for like 2 weeks now, but I had the antibiotic. I done did my herbs and stuff, but I don't know what's going on. It's just I need to rest. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Maybe that's it.
So we'll see what Mr. Claus is going to tell me what to do. So, Miss Jeanette, Mrs. Claus, yeah. I gotta get into. Look, Mrs. Claus is even here with her gear on. Listen, this is a great children's book for this season, and what I want to say is, Miss Claus, how did this come about? What inspired you around this story? And give the audience where you are and the name of one of this book.
Hello, I'm Jeanette Corporal Cox, and I'm in Landover, Maryland, and I'm really excited to be here to talk about the Christmas Surprise. And it's a sparkle and glitter series, and I was a twin, and Sparkle is my name, but one of my students named my twin who got sick and passed Glitter. So there we have Sparkle and Glitter. And I write about us in different situations. So we had to have a Christmas book.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And when you talk about surprise, because we know that Christmas is a surprise, as I was growing up, I got kind of crushed because, and maybe your children may be watching. I got crushed when I found out there wasn't this man that's coming down your chimney when I seen people bringing stuff in.
Definitely.
But on the other hand, it is a surprise, but I love the basis of you have it. You also have a lesson in it as well about teamwork, different things like that in the story. I really do. I will say I had pleasure in reading it. It was very enjoyable for me to go over this with you. Now, Mrs. Claus, where is Mr. Claus?
He's not feeling well this evening, so I'm going solo today.
She's going solo because I know you behind every man, they say there's a good woman. So I know you're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, keeping them in order so he can get stuff all around this globe and world out where it needs to be. But when you did this story, was there any personal moment or holiday memory that sparked you when doing this Christmas story surprise?
Yes, believe it or not, I'm from a family of 10 brothers and sisters, and I'll never forget one of my last Christmases. My twin and I got English racers, and we had to pretend Dad had come in the room, and we had to pretend that we were asleep, and we actually watched him. And its spike was black, and mine was aqua blue, and so we just kind of, turned our head and pretended we were asleep, and got up the next morning trying to be surprised.
Okay, all right. Now, in this book, how did you suppose that this surprise was a symbolism of this story? because you have a surprise here. What is the symbolism to this story?
I actually have a friend. His name is James, and he had told me that he was going to make some earrings for Sparkler and I. So as I started writing in the book, I said, "That's it." And so he didn't let me down. He actually designed a pair of earrings with stars on it, and he made little presents that said, "You are a star." And at my first debut with the book, the girls that came, I actually gave them one of the pairs of earrings that James designed. So it's kind of centered around that.
And I know Mr. James. Mr. James is very special to me as well. He has designed some stuff for me as well. So I know the work. I know the work. I
Yes.
know the work. James is a character. So I hope he be watching tonight to hear that we done put a plug in for him. Yeah, he got some very good jewelry there.
Yes,
So.
it does.
All right.
Absolutely.
So in this story, because again, I say you need to go to Amazon, you need to go buy the book, or you need to go buy this book. I say, what message of hope do you want for the children who pick this up and adults to take away from your Mrs. Claus journey in this book?
Mainly, I want children and adults to know that they need to fall in love with books. One thing about a book, if you can't get to the country, you can read about it. And that's one thing about books. You can bring the story to you because you've got the book. So that's what my main thing is writing stories. And I just started a series with Sparkling Glitter going around the world. So they have actually gone to Washington, D.C. So that's one thing about a book. What you can do is go to the place through a book.
That is so true. That is so true. Because, a lot of people don't like when they say this saying that, one thing to get us is not to read. And that is, I follow that as, I'm glad that I was an avid reader, because it actually it took my experiences I've been across the world. I've been to many places. But again, it's nothing is like when you pick up the book, you get to experience it again. And, I always said I wanted to go to Paris, but, I got to Paris. It was okay. I don't know if I would go again, but it's okay. But just to get those experiences, I read about, and that's one of the things that I used to do. The National Geographic books. My parents used to work for these wealthy people, and they used to get the National Geographic books. And I would be there looking at that saying, oh, this is what this looks like. It's good. It's good. It's educational, and it actually strengthens us in our minds.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that is the surprise. What is the surprise in your mind when you put that in that paper? So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to hear more from Mrs. Claus.
Into the whimsical world of Zephrina, a queen in the making, on a journey of self-expression, meditation, and wild self-worth. This is not your average cartoon. It's for grown-ups who crave pause, healing, and a little plant.
All right, welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I am here with Mrs. Claus, none other than AKA Miss Jeanette Corporal Cox, who is here, who is the author of the Christmas Surprise. That is a great book, something to put under the tree, something to buy your nieces, your nephews, whoever, or just you adult want to work on your inner child. This would be a great resource to gather. So, as we said earlier about the reading and just getting it to know the experiences, to go to another world, and you be able to share about some other books that you have going on. Again, I've had the pleasure to see some of them. Um, I know that, in this sparkle and glitter, there's a little village. I'm not going to tell it all, but there were themes I saw, which it led to kindness. It led to about teamwork and just being self aware of your belief and intentional. You had these settings in the stories. Most of the stories that I see, I gather from your readings, is a lot about kindness and teamwork. So when we're talking about this Christmas surprise, right? We're talking about this Christmas surprise because there was things happening that it had to be a teamwork. It had to show kindness, and then they had to have a self-awareness. Now, not to say that circumstances don't come, but this is something that you follow in your trademark. Again, we always know that love outweighs it all, right? And I see that these sparkle and glitter, they have a lot of love for one another and they stick closely together, and that's a teamwork, not, as for twins. You want to expound a little bit more on that?
Yes, sparkle and glitter. As a little, I guess since birth, we never apart. I mean, we just stayed together. We went to college together. We bought our first home together. We just did everything together. And believe it or not, we were identical and looked just alike. So I guess I'll say mom and dad just showed us so much love. So I wanted to continue that with Mrs. Claus. And even Saturday, yeah, I had 7 children. They were outside of my apartment, and I actually read them the book, and they left with some prizes. And that's my whole thing. I want to surprise children because my background is teaching. So that's where the book kind of got started, in a classroom where it was their day for Mrs. Claus to come. And so it was our time to go. And she was just amazed that we actually asked for the same thing. And basically, my mom, it was mom, that everything was the same. So I said, well, why not, think back and then think about those earrings that mom purchased for us that looked the same. And we just did so many things together. And even today, that's my job, to surprise children during this holiday. And I have a little mailbox outside of my door where they write a letter, and I choose, depending on what day, which one I'm going to choose. And then last year, there was a little girl that loved Target. So guess what I did? I sent a gift card in the mail, and her grandmother said she was so tickled. She loves Target. And then I had a brother and sister that wanted a hover round. Now, I don't do a lot of shopping. So what I did, I just kind of cash app them the money so that they can get what they wanted. So that's what I'm all about. Surprising, showing love, just being kind during this holiday season, and just showing children, yes, you're loved, you're special. So,
wow. That is sensational, man. I need to start sending some letters, see what I can do. So
Yeah.
I want the audience to check this out because I want the audience to check this out. Look, hot chocolates and cookies with Mrs. Claus. Look at that, audience. Look at that. This is Mrs. Claus here with some hot chocolate and cookies with Mrs. Claus. Listen, that that's a segue and to say, hey, she has some items for purchasing to get those mugs. It'd be nice to sit down and read under the Christmas Eve, maybe under the tree, something like that. But you can get one of those to get in contact with Miss Jeanette with that about those, and you can get those as well. So isn't that true?
Yes. We have them available.
So, we almost to the end of the show. Can you give us, Mrs. Claus, what's your favorite holiday tradition?
Believe it or not, I love Christmas. And my family still, we draw names, and whoever's name we get, we set a price amount. And then I don't do a lot of shopping. I'm usually a gift card person. So you go and buy what you want. Yeah.
Oh,
So basically, that's what we do. We still draw those names and then give that person the dollar amount that the family has set aside to agree that we've agreed on.
that's wonderful. That is wonderful. That's wonderful. No, I have to go. I have a gift thing that I have to do pretty soon as well. Okay, so one last question, and I want you to give a little thinking or thought on this one. Don't just answer it so quick,
Okay.
Mrs. Claus. If Mrs. Claus, which is you, not Miss Jeanette, but Mrs. Claus, could give one piece of advice to the readers, what would it be?
I would tell them you're special, love yourself, and you become the best person that you can be, and always think about a way that you can reach out to someone and show kindness, show love. That's what it's all about. And on Saturday, I got the greatest hugs from my little friends. Dallas, hi Dallas. And there was one named Dream. Oh my goodness, the names were beautiful. Eden was here. There's another Amina. Yeah, we had a nice time.
Oh, sounds like it. Sounds like it. So, we almost cracked. We only got a couple more, days. It's be out the end of this year. So
Yeah.
before we end though, do you have any upcoming events that you would like to share where people will be able to come and see you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, on the 21st of December, I'm going to be at New Solid Rock Church in Gambriel, Maryland, as Mrs. Claus. And of course, I'm carrying some surprises with me. So you never know. Come and you might be surprised.
All right. And I do know that you have another series that is based upon Martin Luther King. That is another. Do you want to share a little bit about that? Because we're rolling right into the next month, which is January already. We want to share a little bit of expert about that as well.
Yes. In that book, Sparkle and Glitter meet little Mr. Dr. Martin Luther King. And that person is my son. At the age of 3, I began teaching him the speech, I Have a Dream. So we have actually been to schools, churches, and he does the speech readily. I just love it. And he's been to my school, and the kids love him. And I love it at the very end when he says something to encourage them. And I look back and say, that's my son. Wow. So we have that book too. And you're welcome. It's on Amazon. Sparkle and Glitter meet Little Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. All right. Well, audience, you done heard it from Mrs. Claus. I will tell you, go to Amazon to hit her up. You can also find you, Miss Jeanette. Where can you want people to find you? Tell the audience where they can look and find you at.
Okay. You can email me at twincox01@gmail.com. And also, I'm on my website, sparkle-glitter.com.
Okay. All right. That's the email for you guys right there. All right. Well, audience, it is time to segue on out to the show tonight. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul tonight. And I want you to, as I always, go into the segue of a quote, feel if you feel, love if you love, do what you can, but love overveils much. So until next week, have a great and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. And again, if you don't feel like you love, know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. Until next week, I'm your show host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. And again, thank you, Mrs. Claus, for being here with us. Until next week, soon to checking on out.